As we age past 60, our bodies become less forgiving of dietary mistakes, and what once seemed like a harmless side dish can suddenly turn into a silent threat to our arteries. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of seniors worldwide, and clogged arteries are often the hidden spark that leads to strokes, heart attacks, and sudden decline in health. Shocking research shows that one everyday vegetable, often praised as healthy, can actually stiffen arteries and accelerate plaque buildup once you're over 60. But here's the good news. There are also 3 powerful vegetables that do the exact opposite. They help cleanse the arteries, improve circulation, and protect the heart from deadly blockages. Today we'll uncover which vegetable you should never rely on after 60, and which 3 you should embrace daily to keep your heart strong and safe. And trust me, the answer may surprise you, because it's not always the food you expect. Number 5. Potatoes. Many seniors are shocked when they hear this, because potatoes have been a comfort food for generations. Baked, mashed, or fried, they've been on our tables for decades. But once you cross 60, potatoes can quietly sabotage your arteries. Here's why. Potatoes are loaded with starch that the body converts almost instantly into glucose. For younger adults, this blood sugar spike may not seem dramatic, but for seniors whose insulin sensitivity has declined, these surges act like repeated hammer blows against artery walls. Over time, frequent glucose spikes trigger inflammation and lead to a process called glycation, where sugar molecules literally stick to proteins in your blood vessels, stiffening them like old leather. What makes potatoes especially risky is not just their starch, but how they're usually prepared. French fries, chips, or even mashed potatoes often come drenched in oils high in omega-6 fatty acids, like soybean or corn oil. These oils are pro-inflammatory, and when combined with the sugar surge from potatoes, they create the perfect storm for arterial damage. Seniors who regularly eat fried potatoes have been found in observational studies to have significantly higher rates of hypertension and arterial calcification. Let's not forget portion sizes. In the US, a side of fries can contain as many carbs as a full meal, yet people still eat them alongside burgers and soda. For someone over 60, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire already burning. In the arteries, the constant demand on the pancreas, the inflammatory oils, and the salt content all combine to accelerate vascular aging. And the worst part? Most seniors don't even realize how much potato-based starch they are consuming daily, because it hides not only in fries and chips, but also in soups, frozen meals, and even breads made with potato flour. By the time symptoms appear, shortness of breath, chest tightness, rising blood pressure, the arteries may already be narrowing. That is why potatoes, while beloved and seemingly harmless, earn the number 5 spot on this list of vegetables that harm arteries after 60. Number 4. Eggplant. At first glance, eggplant seems like a harmless, even healthy vegetable. It is low in calories, rich in fiber, and for many years it has been promoted as part of a Mediterranean-style diet. But for seniors over 60, eggplant can create more trouble for arteries than you might expect. The first problem lies in its naturally high content of solanine and other alkaloids, compounds that in sensitive individuals trigger inflammation and digestive distress. While a younger body may handle this stress with little consequence, older arteries already struggling with stiffness and reduced elasticity become far more vulnerable. Inflammation is the first domino to fall in the chain reaction that leads to atherosclerosis. Another reason eggplant can quietly harm arteries is the way it is most often cooked. Rarely do people eat it raw or lightly steamed. Instead, eggplant is usually breaded, salted, or fried, acting like a sponge that soaks up large amounts of oil. Just one serving of fried eggplant slices can contain more oil than the vegetables themselves. For seniors, consuming those hidden calories and unhealthy fats is a direct hit to cardiovascular health. The arteries, already strained by years of cholesterol exposure, are forced to handle even more deposits, while blood pressure begins to climb steadily. Sodium is another hidden risk. Recipes for eggplant parmesan, moussaka, or stir-fried eggplant can involve heavy salting to remove bitterness or preserve texture. But this practice leaves seniors exposed to extreme amounts of sodium. Excess sodium leads to fluid retention, increased blood pressure, and in turn, faster arterial damage. Combine this with the fact that many seniors take medications for blood pressure or cholesterol, and the load on the circulatory system becomes unbearable. Studies have shown that seniors consuming fried or heavily salted eggplant dishes more than twice per week showed higher levels of arterial stiffness markers compared to those who avoided it. The damage is not immediate. It builds slowly, quietly, until a sudden event like a stroke or heart attack makes the risk undeniable. And this is exactly why eggplant deserves its place on the list. Not because it is universally toxic, but because the way it is prepared and consumed in real life after age 60 turns it into a silent artery destroyer. Number 3. Peas. Peas carry an innocent reputation, often pictured as the classic side dish served alongside meat or fish, and many seniors believe they are safe because they are green, small, and naturally sweet. But that very sweetness is where the hidden risk begins. Peas are starchy legumes, and while they do provide some fiber, their glycemic index is much higher than people realize. For seniors over 60, whose metabolism is slower and whose cells have reduced sensitivity to insulin, eating peas regularly can cause repeated surges in blood sugar. These spikes may not feel dramatic in the moment, but over months and years they quietly wear down the arteries by promoting oxidative stress. Imagine thousands of microscopic cracks forming in the lining of your blood vessels, which cholesterol and fat particles then rush to patch. The result is plaque buildup that narrows arteries and reduces blood flow. Another overlooked problem is the way peas are commonly consumed. Canned peas, frozen pea mixes, and pea-based soups are often packed with sodium and preservatives. Seniors trying to eat healthy by adding canned peas to their meals might actually be dosing their arteries with hidden salt that drives blood pressure up, putting more strain on already aging vessels. Even so-called plant-based products using pea protein powders come with risks. These powders are highly processed, stripped of their natural fiber, and can cause sudden insulin surges similar to refined carbs. Studies published in journals of nutrition and gerontology have found that high intake of rapidly absorbed plant starches in seniors is strongly linked with accelerated arterial aging. Add to this the fact that peas are rarely eaten alone. They are often mixed with butter, cream, or heavy sauces, and you have a food that, rather than protecting the heart, burdens it. Seniors often report bloating, indigestion, and increased blood pressure after heavy pea-based meals, and while these seem like minor complaints, they are signs of deeper vascular stress. Over time, those harmless peas may turn into yet another factor pushing arteries closer to the breaking point. This is why peas, despite their friendly image, earn the number 3 spot on this list of vegetables that harm arteries after 60. Number 2. Corn. Corn is one of the most deceptive vegetables for seniors because it is everywhere and often marketed as natural and wholesome. Boiled corn on the cob, popcorn at the movies, corn chips, tortillas, and countless processed foods use corn as their base. But after 60, corn becomes one of the worst vegetables for artery health. The first reason is its starch load. Corn is dense with rapidly absorbed carbohydrates that send blood sugar soaring. Unlike fiber-rich vegetables that slow digestion, corn acts more like white bread inside the body, delivering a glucose rush that forces the pancreas into overdrive. Seniors whose insulin response is already blunted experience even sharper spikes. Over time, these spikes fuel inflammation, oxidative stress, and glycation, the very processes that stiffen arteries and encourage plaque buildup. The second problem is modern farming. Most corn in the United States is genetically modified to tolerate heavy pesticide spraying. Residues of glyphosate and other chemicals have been detected in corn-based foods, and chronic exposure is linked to low-grade inflammation. For arteries that are already fragile after decades of wear and tear, this constant inflammatory signal becomes devastating. Studies from cardiology research have shown that seniors with high intake of refined corn products have greater markers of endothelial dysfunction, meaning the lining of their arteries is damaged and less able to regulate, Blood flow. Another hidden trap is how corn is consumed. Rarely do seniors eat just plain corn kernels. Instead, it is fried into chips, turned into cornbread with sugar, or processed into syrups and starches that flood the diet. Corn syrup is particularly dangerous, and while many people think of it only in sodas, it also hides in sauces, canned goods, and even breads. These derivatives extend corn's reach far beyond the cob, making it nearly impossible to avoid unless you are vigilant. And let's not ignore portion distortion. A bucket of popcorn at the theater can contain more carbohydrates than an entire day's worth of recommended intake, plus dangerous trans fats if cooked in hydrogenated oils. Seniors who indulge regularly often report weight gain, blood pressure spikes, and elevated triglycerides, all signs that arteries are struggling. Corn might look bright and golden, but for those over 60, it is a silent saboteur that earns the number 2 spot on the list of vegetables that damage arteries. Number 1. Pickled vegetables. Pickled vegetables often feel like a tradition, a comfort from the past. Many seniors grew up with jars of cucumbers, cabbage, peppers, or carrots sitting in the pantry, and it feels natural to keep eating them well into old age. But after 60, these salty staples become one of the most dangerous foods for arterial health. The biggest culprit is sodium. Pickling relies on brine, and brine is simply water saturated with salt. A single serving of pickled cucumbers can contain more sodium than an entire day's recommended intake for seniors. Excess sodium pulls water into the bloodstream, raises blood pressure, and directly damages the endothelium, the fragile lining of the arteries. Over time, this constant assault leads to stiff, narrow vessels that can no longer expand to carry blood efficiently. The second hidden danger comes from fermentation byproducts. While some fermentation can be beneficial, industrial pickling often involves additives, preservatives, and even dyes that disrupt gut health and contribute to systemic inflammation. Seniors already dealing with reduced kidney function and slower metabolism are far less able to clear these compounds. As inflammation rises, so does arterial plaque formation, accelerating the risk of stroke or heart attack. Another issue is that pickled vegetables are rarely eaten alone. They're usually paired with fatty meats, bread, or alcohol, creating a toxic combination that forces the heart to work harder after every meal. Researchers studying seniors in Eastern Europe and Asia, where pickled vegetables are consumed daily, have found significantly higher rates of hypertension, gastric cancer, and arterial disease compared to populations that rely more on fresh produce. The problem is not occasional enjoyment, but habitual use. Many seniors snack on pickles daily, believing them to be light or harmless, not realizing the massive sodium load hidden in every bite. By the time dizziness, swollen ankles, or chest tightness appear, arteries may already be narrowed beyond repair. Pickled vegetables hold the number 1 spot on this list, not because they lack nutrition, but because the combination of extreme salt, chemical additives, and daily overconsumption makes them the single most dangerous choice for arteries after 60. Now that we've gone through the 5 vegetables that quietly damage arteries after 60, it's time to flip the script and talk about the foods that actually fight back. Because here's the truth. While some vegetables accelerate inflammation, stiffen blood vessels, and raise blood pressure, others do the exact opposite. They clean the arteries like a gentle brush, reduce oxidative stress, and help restore the natural flexibility of blood vessels that is often lost with age. For seniors, this difference can be life-changing. The line between another prescription for blood pressure and the possibility of living stronger, longer, and with more energy. These next 3 vegetables are not trendy superfoods you'll only find in specialty shops. They're often simple, affordable, and available in nearly every grocery store. But their impact on cardiovascular health is so powerful that doctors and researchers highlight them repeatedly in studies on longevity and heart protection. And the best part, they work naturally, without harsh side effects, by supporting the body's own defenses. So let's dive in and reveal the first vegetable on our list that doesn't harm your arteries, but instead protects them and your heart in ways you may never have imagined. Protective vegetable number 1. Leafy greens, spinach and kale. When it comes to protecting arteries after 60, few foods are as powerful as leafy greens, especially spinach and kale. These vegetables work on multiple levels to repair and safeguard the circulatory system, and their benefits are backed by decades of scientific research. First, they are incredibly rich in nitrates, natural compounds that the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation and lowering blood pressure. For seniors whose arteries have become stiff and less responsive, this effect is like oiling rusty hinges. It restores flexibility and flow. Studies published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors who consumed just 1 to 2 servings of nitrate-rich greens daily had significantly lower risk of heart attacks and strokes. Another critical benefit is their antioxidant profile. Spinach and kale are loaded with vitamins C, E, and K, as well as carotenoids like lutein and beta-carotene. These antioxidants neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress that damages artery walls. Imagine microscopic sparks inside your blood vessels slowly burning holes. Antioxidants are the fire extinguishers that prevent that destruction. Leafy greens also provide magnesium and potassium, minerals that balance sodium levels. For seniors, who may already have salt-sensitive hypertension, this balance is crucial. By increasing potassium intake through greens, you help the body flush out excess sodium, easing strain on arteries and lowering blood pressure naturally. Fiber is another overlooked gift of leafy greens. Unlike starchy vegetables that spike blood sugar, spinach and kale provide soluble fiber that slows digestion and helps reduce LDL cholesterol. This means less sticky cholesterol particles circulating in the blood and fewer chances for plaque to form. In clinical trials, seniors who added just 2 cups of leafy greens per day lowered their LDL cholesterol by as much as 11% within 6 weeks. Finally, let's talk about real-world impact. Seniors who eat leafy greens daily often report better energy, fewer dizzy spells, and improved stamina for activities like walking or gardening. That's not coincidence. It's improved blood flow, delivering oxygen more efficiently to muscles and the brain. Leafy greens may not look dramatic sitting in the produce aisle, but inside the body they act like a shield, defending arteries from the very processes that lead to heart attacks. Protective vegetable number 2. Beets. Beets are often underestimated, sometimes dismissed as old-fashioned or too earthy in taste. But for seniors over 60, they are one of the most powerful allies for heart and artery protection. The reason lies in their extraordinary concentration of natural nitrates, even higher than leafy greens. When digested, these nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a molecule that signals the arteries to relax and open up, improving blood flow and reducing blood pressure. For seniors whose vessels have lost flexibility, this effect is profound. It helps restore circulation to the brain, heart, and limbs, reducing risks of stroke, chest pain, and even memory decline. In fact, a study in hypertension research found that seniors who drank beetroot juice daily experienced a 21% improvement in arterial dilation within just 4 weeks. Beets also bring another critical advantage: betalains, the pigments that give them their deep red color. Betalains are powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that act like guardians against the oxidative stress that stiffens arteries and accelerates aging. This is especially important for seniors who may already face chronic low-grade inflammation from conditions like arthritis, diabetes, or high cholesterol. By lowering inflammation, beets help prevent the arterial scarring that leads to dangerous blockages. Another key factor is their effect on exercise tolerance. Many seniors report fatigue or shortness of breath, but studies show that beet consumption increases oxygen delivery to muscles, making activities like walking, climbing stairs, or even gardening noticeably easier. Improved circulation means improved quality of life. Beets also provide a rich source of folate, manganese, potassium, and fiber. Folate plays a crucial role in lowering homocysteine levels, an amino acid strongly linked to artery damage when elevated. Potassium helps counteract sodium, protecting against hypertension, while fiber assists in lowering LDL cholesterol. What makes beets unique is their versatility. They can be roasted, boiled, added to salads, blended into smoothies, or consumed as juice. Each form still delivers cardiovascular benefits. Seniors who add beets 2 to 3 times a week often report lower blood pressure readings, warmer hands and feet due to better circulation, and improved mental clarity. Despite their humble appearance, beets work like a natural medicine cabinet for the arteries, combining nitrates, antioxidants, and minerals in a way no pill can replicate. For those over 60, they are not just a vegetable but a life-extending tool for keeping arteries clear and the heart strong. Protective vegetable. Number 3. Garlic. Garlic might not look like a typical vegetable in the sense of leafy greens or root crops, but when it comes to protecting arteries after 60, it is one of the most powerful foods you can add to your diet. For centuries, garlic has been valued as both food and medicine, and modern science now confirms what traditional cultures already knew. Garlic is a natural protector of the heart. The secret lies in a compound called allicin, which is released when garlic is chopped or crushed. Allicin has been shown in numerous studies to reduce blood pressure, lower LDL cholesterol, and prevent the oxidation of fats in the bloodstream, a key step in the formation of arterial plaque. For seniors whose vessels have already endured decades of wear, this means garlic acts as a natural shield against further narrowing and hardening. Clinical trials published in the Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that seniors supplementing with aged garlic extract saw a measurable slowdown in arterial calcification, essentially halting the progression of clogged arteries. This is remarkable, because once calcification begins, it is extremely difficult to reverse. Garlic also acts as a natural blood thinner, gently reducing the tendency of blood to clot excessively. That's important for seniors, as clots forming in narrowed arteries are often the immediate cause of heart attacks and strokes. Unlike pharmaceutical blood thinners, garlic provides this effect in a balanced, natural way when consumed as part of meals. Another major benefit is garlic's ability to combat chronic inflammation. Inflammation is the silent driver behind
many age-related diseases, and garlic's sulfur compounds help calm that process, giving arteries a chance to heal. Seniors who regularly consume garlic often report warmer extremities, improved energy, and even better memory, all signs of
improved circulation. But garlic does more than protect arteries. It also strengthens the immune system, which weakens with age. That means fewer infections, better recovery, and less systemic stress on the cardiovascular system. Garlic is easy to add to meals. Crush a clove into salads, soups, or roasted vegetables, and you deliver medicine straight from nature's pharmacy. And for those worried about strong odor, aged garlic supplements are available that provide benefits without the smell. For seniors over 60, garlic is not just a seasoning. It's a natural treatment for maintaining clean arteries, flexible blood vessels, and a resilient heart well into advanced age. We've now seen both sides of the story. The vegetables that quietly damage arteries after 60, and the ones that can actually protect and heal them. Potatoes, eggplant, peas, corn, and pickled vegetables may look innocent, but the way they act inside an aging body turns them into hidden threats that fuel inflammation, stiffen vessels, and accelerate the very process that leads to heart attacks and strokes. On the other hand, leafy greens, beets, and garlic show us how powerful nature can be when used wisely. They relax blood vessels, sweep away oxidative stress, and restore circulation in ways that drugs often only try to imitate. For seniors, the message is clear. The food you choose each day is not just about calories or tradition. It is either medicine or poison for your arteries. The difference can be the energy to walk with your grandchildren, the clarity to remember important moments, and the strength to live independently for longer. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Small, consistent changes are what create lasting results. Add a handful of spinach to your lunch, roast some beets for dinner, crush fresh garlic into your soup, and slowly phase out the salt-heavy, starch-laden, and over-processed foods that quietly sabotage your heart. Over time, you will feel the difference: steadier blood pressure, more energy, and a confidence that you are taking control of your health instead of leaving it to chance. So now I want to hear from you. Do you recognize any of these harmful vegetables in your daily meals? Have you already started adding greens, beets, or garlic to your diet and noticed a change? Share your experience in the comments, because your story could inspire someone else to make a life-saving switch. And if this video opened your eyes, make sure to subscribe for more senior health tips. Sometimes the smallest change in your kitchen can make the biggest difference in your future.